Part 11. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 102. Yan Ji pressed the button on the bedside and told the housekeeper outside that she got up. Then she got out of bed and walked to the bathroom. The boss of the Su family, who was lying under the bed, had disappeared. It was estimated that he woke up in the middle of the night and felt ashamed and sneaked away. Because it is a Mary Sue world, the host is a Mari Sue lady. The standard configuration of the hostess is the good family life. The host's room can be regarded as magnificent, and even the bathroom is like a princess room of some people. Into the bathroom, almost everything is automated. There are 2 servants waiting in the bathroom. Not to mention bathing, it's all about maids doing things like washing your face. But Yanj couldn't adapt to the life of this kind of clothes to reach out and open mouth. She stepped down the 2 servants. After washing, I changed clothes and went out. The housekeeper was waiting respectfully at the door. I bent down and knelt down to help Songs change the shoes. Miss Seven, what do you want to eat in the morning? Yan Song glanced at the housekeeper without a trace, anywhere. I always feel that the current housekeeper is not a normal person. Okay, then I will follow the usual eating habits of Miss Chi. Several brothers went to work early, and now there is only Suji a primary 6 at the breakfast table. Upon seeing Yanj, Suzialiu looked up and greeted Yanj with a smile. Are you up late again? Every day I lay in bed, and my brother said they haven't seen you for a long time. His tone of expression was like 2 people last night. It's like a brother joking with his sister. This makes Yanj even have a kind of idea whether this guy also changed his core. Yanj asked him, what about you, what are you doing? Why are there 2 dark circles? Suji Xiaoliu heard the words, her face suddenly red. Last night I played games with Shi Wen. Shi Wen's face didn't change color, as if he hadn't heard the words of Suji Xiaoliu. Yan Ji's eyes shuttled several times on the 2. She always felt that something went wrong. In the host's memory, the most resentful person in Su's life is the steward Shi Wen. As soon as they meet, 2 people are in a tense posture. What is going on now? 2 people still playing games together? It seemed to feel the surprise in Yan Ji's eyes. Suji Xiaoliu's expression was even hesitant, and then he frowned impatiently and said, why, we 2 are twins. Do you want to borrow your housekeeper? Words, oh, you can use it? I just don't know how this guy used it, even Wen's ear tip was a little red when the housekeeper who helped her arrange breakfast. After breakfast, I go to school. Although the host and Suzialiu are the same age, the 2 are not in the same class. This setting is probably also for the convenience of the hostess to attract those flowers in the class. As soon as they entered the classroom, everyone's eyes immediately turned to Yanj. After all, in this plane, the host is a fan of the aura of Mary Sue, the heroine. No matter how old or young, men and women, she will be fascinated by her. Not obsessed with her is definitely a mischievous vicious female partner. As for the vicious men's men, without this setting, men's men like female lead. Suyu, today is your duty day. Come so late, why don't you want to escape the duty day? A voice sounded at this time. As soon as I heard this voice, Yan Song knew that the vicious female in the face was playing. Alas, the female lead is not easy, and the female partner is even more difficult. Obviously, she is also the young lady of the wealthy family. As a result, after meeting the female lead, she has become a vicious female partner with a brain and jealousy. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 103. Chapter 103. The female match is pitiful. Not only the man he likes like the woman lead, but even his brother likes the woman lead. And each time the female partner finds the female lead, she will be doubled to herself in the end. Sure enough, Yanj had not responded yet, and the students around him immediately rushed to maintain Yanj. Where is Suyu worthy of the day? Look at how weak her body is and how this kind of thing is suitable for her. Qin Mi, you really are, why do you have such a thought, aren't you just tossing Suyu? On your own duty day, you didn't see you on duty. What qualifications do you have to say Suyu? I've helped her on duty. The study committee member stood up, glanced at Qin Mi, and warned, it's almost time for class. Don't make any noise. Qin Mi's eyes were sour and uncomfortable when she met the learning committee member, but she liked the learning committee member for a long time, but the gaze of the study committee member has always been on Suyu's Baiqi. Yanj thanked the learning committee members. The gentle voice expressed guilt very much that he would never forget the duty day next time and would be on duty in person, so he sat back in position. Even such words are not from the heart of the words. Suddenly, I found that the rules in this plane are very strong in controlling these people in the plane. Every action of the host is carried out under the rules of the plane. He didn't touch his own bottom line. Although Yanj was uncomfortable, his body couldn't help himself, but he didn't intentionally change it. After all, these people are accustomed to such a host, and the people around the host are obviously a bit strange. If she is too normal, it may make people doubt. Yanj's seat was next to the learning committee member. After she sat down, the learning committee member silently handed her class notes to Yanj. This is the record of your absence last week. You should go home and see more. Yanji was surprised, and thanked softly and tenderly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 104. The teacher slapped / students, it is time to cut the third leg. Yanj finally couldn't continue to let his body go according to the host's established rules. Her heart burst into flames, angrily clenching her fists against her body's restraint. As soon as the slab in her hand appeared, she immediately hit a brick on the shoulder of the language teacher. Oh, the wrong place. The Chinese teacher looked at Yanj with a stupid look. Xiaoyui you. Shit Satsuki. When Yanj turned around and stood up, he cast a shame on the face of the Chinese teacher with a chair on his face. In the language teacher's surprised look, she crouched down and smashed the language teacher's crotch with the brick in her hand. She didn't bother to use her feet to stab that thing, so she could only wrong the brick in her hand. Before the Chinese teacher passed out, he screamed, and his body was twitching. Yanji sees him still screaming, and another brick hits his brain. Well, passed out. Out of the language teacher's office, Yanji suddenly felt that his mood was really wonderful. The life of the host really needs a brick. This cheat is very good. It makes her a little bit like the life of this cheat. At the corner of the stairs, the weakest girl in the class blocked the words, and she didn't dare to lift her head and said, Suyu, someone in the woods over there will let you go and say you need something. Without waiting for the song to speak, she stuttered and said, would you like to go? This baby girl is not suitable for a microphone at all. Yanji stared at her and asked, who is looking for me? Although the sound is soft and has no lethality, the girls' heads are lowered lower, and they whispered, yes, it's Qin Mi, let you go to the grove alone. She added, and said, don't you go, they said they want to ruin your face for you. Why do you help them? They said I didn't preach, so they ruined my face. After the girl finished speaking, she looked up in tears and sang the song, but you sent me a cell phone last time, I don't want you to be in danger, you go back to the classroom. Oh, when the hostess first came to school, the meeting gift for each classmate was a customized version of the mobile phone. Rich, wayward. That's it? Yanj Marisu patted the girl's shoulder extremely, you go back to the classroom, rest assured, with me, No one dares to bully you in the future. The girl heard the words, looked at Yanj with a look of astonishment and tears, and instantly became the #1 fangirl of Yanj. She shook her fist, flushed her face and said, I'll go with you, me, and I have strength big, I can protect you. So the two men daringly went to the grove agreed by Qin Mi. Qin Mi, as the #1 vicious female matchmaker, had no ladylike look at her hands and chest at the moment, staring at Yan Yan with a sullen expression. I have the courage to dare to go on an appointment alone. It seems that you really treat yourself dish. Yan Ji glanced at Qin Mi with a doubt, did you not let me come alone? To be precise, there were actually two people coming, and the girl was still standing beside her, but neither Yanj nor Qin Mi paid attention to the girls. There were 5 or 6 girls standing next to Qin Mi, and these girls all stared angrily. Yan Ji thought it was a fight, because she was so good at it. She glanced around to find a brick. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 105. Unfortunately, there are no bricks around. However, what makes Yanj's song more surprising is that this is nothing at all, this is a complaint conference. These girls pointed at the song with grief and indignation, accusing each other of what gifts they gave to the male god, and how much thought they spent, but the male didn't look at it. But the host didn't do anything, and with one glance, the soul of the male was hooked away. Too much fox. No one can stand it. So while the girls complained, they warned Song not to hook up with their male gods. They expressed indignantly that Yanj dared to hook up with their male again, and they cut Yanj's face. In just a few words, these girls said many times over and over again, and in the end they even burst into tears. Words of song. Can't there be a normal point for this? If you continue to cry like this, it is estimated that the host's messengers should also arrive. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, of course. The hostess had to apologize, guilty, bowed and said sincerely, I will pay attention to it later. Mama B, what does this have to do with the heroine? Why did she apologize? Yan Ji would like to smash the rules of this plane with a brick. The words of Yanj interrupted everyone's cry. Qin Mi stared at Yanj and suddenly yelled, it's your face that causes trouble, scratch your face, and see how you can hook other people in the future. Now that the level of plastic surgery is so great, my face can be cleaned in minutes. The point is that since you are going to scratch her face, why not move at the beginning? Really, the bad guy died. The girls around also echoed Qin Mi, yes, scratching her face, this fox essence, scratching her face becomes ugly and weird, and the senior will not be confused by her again. If you have the ability, don't go too far. Words are impatient. Watching these girls start a new round of crying conference. Yanj finally couldn't bear it, and rushed towards these girls, and the bricks in her hand also appeared as soon as possible with her powerful call. The stunned man may need some strength and skill. But these girls didn't need anything. They smashed a brick and stunned. For a moment, there was an illusion that the air was becoming sweet and sweet in the quiet surroundings. Yan Ji turned his head and looked at the only weak girl who was still in her sleeves. The two looked at each other silently. The weak girl did not expect that Yanj would be so capable. She originally planned to help Yanj fight with her sleeves, and her sleeves had not been put up yet, and her opponent's men and women were stunned by Yanj. When she was staring at Yanj, there was an illusion that she would be stunned by Yanj. But this did not prevent her staring at the words with a stare look on her face. Xiao Yu, what's wrong with you? These women dare to bully you. Have you been hurt? Are you uncomfortable? At this time, a person quickly rushed to Yan Ji and took it into his arms. Feeling distressed, touching the hands and feet of Yanj, are there any pains? Are there any fractures? These vicious women dare to hurt you and die. Rub. Xiao Yu again. Is this guy blind? Doesn't he see so many girls on the ground? Yanj was so intolerable that he touched it, and a brick hit the guy's head again. Well, the world is finally harmonious. Yanj smiled and weak girls went to the toilet hand in hand. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 106. The girls couldn't understand such things as holding hands in the toilet. However, it doesn't matter, she can only break free from the shackles that this plain rule brings her when the bricks appear in her hand. She couldn't get out of the bathroom, so she pulled out the bricks and knocked the little girl out. It's strange that the girl didn't ask the question where the song brick came from. Yanj also prepared a lot of speeches, but none came in handy. After a day at school, Yanji slap flew countless men and women. Although it is tiring, it is faint and more refreshing. What fascinates people with their bodies is really not as happy as a piece of brick. The chicken is not as addicted to the TV series as usual, it crouches on the high stool without any love, and Yu said to the song, "You really are a wood, I shouldn't look at you high. You're so short, I can't even look high. Wood, guys like you, I really hope that you will also realize in the future what the loneliness and emptiness of 5 girls can make you happy." Yanj, what do you rely on for your 5 girls? The daily lives of 2 people are hurting each other. In the end, it's always the chicken who loses and then indulge in a tearful TV series. Today, Father Su also came back early. Suzaili was reprimanded by Father Su because of his academic achievements, and he was closed in the room for reflection. So there are only Yanj and Su father on the big table. There is no mistress in Su's family. These sons of Su's father are all seeking surrogacy. But since the hostess of the Su family has become the host. As long as Father Su returns, the host will be Su father at night. He waved and ordered the words, "Come here." Yanji groaned in his heart, but his body walked weakly. "Daddy, are you back?" As soon as Father Su reached out and held Yanj on his lap, he sat down. "Is there a good one at home, eh?" The hand has touched the lips of Yan Song spontaneously. Words of song. This plane really made her intolerable. "This is my dad's egg, and he did such a thing to his daughter." The slab in the Yan singer appeared the next moment, and a slab smashed on Su's head. Fast and accurate. Looking at the Father Su who fell to the ground, Yanji still stomped his body with his feet. Yanj went upstairs, and in the hallway, he saw leaning against his own door, his arms clasped with his arms as if smiling at his second child Su family. Suchia's second child is a more sly smiley tiger. It always looks like a spring breeze smiling human and animal harmless. In fact, my heart is changed /morphic and vicious. Every time this guy is with the host, he plays a difficult game. When he saw Yanj approaching, he asked with a smile, "What? That guy didn't take you to his room today?" The sons of the Su family were extremely disgusting and called the old man Su for that guy. Suchia's second voice also brought a bit of irony. As soon as Yanji approached, he reached out and grabbed his arm, pulled him, and pulled her against the wall. Before Su's second son kissed her, Yanji slaps on his head instantly. "Okay, fainted again." Yanj crossed the second child of the Su family who fell to the ground and returned to his room. The chicken said quietly, "Are you really not planning to enjoy the days surrounded by men and women?" Song, the hostess would rather be a livestock than accept these men. "Do you think I'm not as good as the hostess?" The chick was silent for a moment. "Also, these low-level humans can't compare with us." You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 107. There was a faint sour taste in the cock's words. Yanji ignored the words that the chicken could not eat grapes and said grapes were sour, and she looked down at her empty hands. It's strange that the brick can't come out no matter how she summons it now, but once there is a strange man or woman on the plane, the brick immediately feels like telepathy with her, and will be the first appeared in her hands. This cheat, why didn't the host unlock it at that time? Is it because the host is subject to the rules of heaven and earth too severely, so the mental strength is too weak to unlock this golden finger? Yan Ji encountered this situation for the first time in the plane, but she was very satisfied although she was puzzled. This night he stunned two men who came into her room. What's even more surprising about Yan Ji is that the housekeeper who picked her up in the afternoon became very normal and polite, and did not climb her bed again at night. This is really a good start. Yanj has no dreams overnight. Go to school the next day as usual. Several students fainted in school all day. She later discovered a surprising thing. Those guys who were stunned by her the day before and saw her the next day were very normal. It became a normal classmate relationship, as well as that teacher. This brick also has a magical function that makes people wake up and dream. In order to confirm the truth of this matter, after Yan Ji returned home, he went to find Su's second child who was fainted last night. The second child of the Su family still smiled and handed Yanj a glass of juice and said, "Why, it's rare to come to see my second brother in person. Did someone bully you at school? You told the brother who bullied you, let's bully back together." Sure enough, these guys were transformed into normal people by a brick. Congratulations. So the day of the next song became a word that didn't agree with each other. As long as there were strange things around, a brick went down, the world was harmonious and beautiful immediately. I have to say that there are so many older brothers and uncles who care about love, this life is more nourishing than the princess. Don't be too happy this day. But Yanj thought that he would be so smashing to the age of 100 years. That beast, Temo appeared. Yanj is really nourishing in this plane, so she never thought about marrying a child. She has been walking around the world, probably because she is a tree, and she is also a green messenger. Endorsements encourage everyone to plant trees and green their homes. Of course, her most real idea is to hope that these trees will have the same charm as hers. Before meeting the beast, Yan Ji once felt that his plane was about the same as his vacation. But when encountering this beast, the nightmare of Yanj opened instantly. When the beast appeared, Yanj was lying on her big bed. Under the coercion of the beast, her eyes widened instantly and couldn't move. A smoky stream of smoke came in from the window and turned into a man in a black suit. Men are unkind, so they look even more frowning. Yan Ji looked up at him slightly, with a little bright smile on his face. "Meeting again, you have eaten me so many times, I don't know what your last name is, can you be lucky to know your name?" The man had jumped to bed, stretched his hands on the bed, half-kneed on one knee and looked down at Yanj. He has been hungry for a long time. Can't find delicious food. The taste was bad, he didn't even touch it, let alone eat it. He would rather wrong his stomach than his mouth. Picky eaters led him to forget when it was the last meal. It is rare to find a delicious snack this time. He really wanted to swallow the snack before he drooled. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 108. The shadows of the trees outside the window were dim, and under the yellow light of the night light, a man and a woman in the bed were in ambiguous postures. The domineering president at the beginning of the bed scene strongly oppressed the coquettish girl, and then came closer, more aware that the man's eyes looking at the woman were infatuated, obviously with deep affection. And the woman in the picture, Yan Ji at this moment does not have the slightest feeling of being blessed. She was really sad to cry. The chicken said that the rule of heaven in the plane in which the mighty person appears is more serious, so the probability of this beast's appearance is almost non-existent, because the beast is against the existence of heaven. This time, the plane did not have the mighty one. She thought she could relax a little bit, and she did not expect that this beast would be seen. She had bald Nima and was eaten again. I'm afraid she didn't even have a residue. Sir, can we have a good chat before eating? It's also interesting to lie down and talk. Unfortunately, this beast is too hungry. A snack, a scent, made his saliva run out. He certainly doesn't waste time talking to dim sum. So he, of course, ignores the words of Yanj. He continued to lean down and opened his mouth wide. He planned to use the snack to warm his stomach. The beast stared at her hunger. Let Yanj have the illusion of becoming a super delicious barbecue. Mom, you can't be eaten anymore. Probably a sub-belief gave birth to the golden finger of Yanj. The brick slaps of countless men and women appeared in the hands of Yanj. With a brick head in your hand is strength. Yanj was suddenly able to escape the coercion brought by this beast. The moment she was able to move, she jumped on the animal's back for the first time, smashed the bricks on the man's head, and dropped her hands on the beast's head for a while. However, the beast had no trace of fainting. He shook his body and shook the words off his back, then slowly turned his head to face the words that fell on the bed. Yanj is too clear about this guy's animal nature. It's totally food, and it won't give her any time to relax. So although she fell into bed, she was frightened by this guy's gaze that could devour people, but this did not hinder her movement. She continued to pounce on and continued to raise the bricks in her hands and hit the guy's head. She's not scared. Dripping water still wears stones, she can't smash this guy. Yanj didn't shake her down for this beast. She smashed the beast's head and face with one hand when she rushed up, and her other hand was tightly pinching the guy's neck. Of course, don't forget to tilt your head and bite one of the beast's ears with your teeth. Although the guy's ears couldn't bite completely, the song did not relax. Beast, angry. His eyes narrowed for a moment, as if black fireworks were flickering under his eyes. Very good, snack, the bad taste of labor and management that you successfully caused. It was so disgusting to smash his face with a brick, he was so angry with this ant-like snack. The next moment he turned into a beast, and the huge claw lifted the dim sum in his hand and threw it into his big mouth. Yanj is still not convinced, and continued to smash his fingers with a brick, while shouting, "What the is you dog/shit?" This guy who turned into a beast was about to fill up the whole room, and swept away her songs, letting her live for 10,000 years, and didn't know what it was in front of her. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gong Wei Pang. Chapter 109. The beast didn't bother to talk with Yan Song, it opened its mouth wide and threw Yan Song into its mouth without hesitation. The snack irritated it. This time it had to chew slowly and swallow it, swallowing the snack a little bit. The teeth suddenly hurt. Without waiting for the beast to react, Yanj had already drilled out of the crack of the broken tooth, grabbing the face of the beast, and the slab in his hand continued to hit the beast's nose. The beast, who didn't put small snacks in his eyes, did not expect that he would break a tooth because of a small snack. Its claws caught the broken teeth that fell out of his mouth in time, watching his broken teeth. Finally he could not bear to growl from his throat. Holding the snack in one hand, it was about to throw the small snack into its mouth again. At this time, a thunderbolt split down and quickly split on the beast. Although the heroine in the plane, this sky thunder was so powerful that it was clear that the beast was to be slain. I don't know if the beast was hacked, anyway, the song was hacked. The heroine of the plane died under the rules of heaven, which is really a little bit wrong, but Yan Ji would rather die like this and not be eaten by that beast again. Back in the system space of fans, Yan Ji regards his own body for the first time. Then she was amazed to find that her big and bodily tree that had been so proud of her turned into a sprout-like seedling. If it weren't for the induction, she couldn't believe that the tiny green bud in the soil was her own. The joy of defeating the beast vanished in a split second, and Yan Ji felt at this moment like the thunder that he wanted to hack the chicken. It's your instinct that has absorbed your soul source. The chicken cub washed himself before the song growled, It's probably premature, the soul source is not enough for it to absorb, it will also absorb your physical energy. Absorbed? Yan Ji's eyes moved, but he was still staring at the cub. Native weapon? Don't say that brick is my natural weapon. Yes, that's your instinct. As for the appearance of the natal instrument, the chicken cocked his head weakly under the words of vocal and murderous eyes, and said, it is presumably because of its premature birth, it is a mud embryo. In the future, you will moisten it with the soul source. It will become what you want. Yan Song took a deep breath. The big tree that has absorbed the soul source for thousands of years has been sucked into a bean sprout by that brick. What's so special about her birth weapon is obviously a vampire reincarnation. Did you not realize that your instinct is very powerful? The cub tried to appease the other side and exploded the song. It can not only fight the rules of heaven, but also the beast, although because preterm birth doesn't look good, but I think it fits all the expectations you had for it in the first place. Songs of silence were silent. So a time in the entire system space seems to be fixed by time without any sound. After a long time, she seemed to finally figure it out, and instead of tangling with the natal device, she asked the chicken, is this mission completed? It's done. The heroine's soul is powerful. That's good. It's not that she is the heroine, and that she hasn't bothered her all the way, and Yanj finally has a little motivation. But before she let out a sigh of relief, the chicken was weak and said, but the source of the soul has been eaten by your natal device. Song. Lying down. This food. She's got to get this guy back to work. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 110. Yanj finally calmed down again. Resisting the urge to frantically ask the chicken, is there any way to make it impossible to move those soul sources I earn? She worked hard to earn the soul, but there was an ugly defeated family member who lost her family property in minutes, and this family member wanted to continue to rebuild it. It is one with you, there is no way, the cub thought for a while, it should be still being upgraded, so the soul source is needed so much. After it is upgraded, it may not be the case. Yanj was so powerless that she could only comfort herself rationally. The brick could break the beast's teeth by breaking the rules of the heavens. Well, not angry. Hemp eggs, if she can rebuild this guy, she must spare no effort. Entering the new plane, just after Yanj had merged the host's memory, he listened to the chicken and said quietly, the powerful person is also in this plane. Song. Suddenly, it feels good to have this guy here, at least not to meet the beast. This time in the plane of Xiaoxian. The host is a mythical beast dragon. The host, the beast, was regarded as an old ancestor by the Xianjian faction when it hit the egg. Because it is a unique beast, I do not know how many cultivators want to associate with it. Although the first half of the life was an egg, it was really prestigious. However, the second half of the life was a bit difficult. The host animal, which broke out of the shell, should be the existence of the world, even if those human immortals are so powerful, they are also ants in its eyes. However, the host's life was not very good. His eyes narrowed and he was about to break out of the shell. Some people broke into the backstory of the Xianjian school and broke the ancient gathering that has nourished the egg. Because this large array nourishes it, it is related to its spirits. When the large array breaks, it loses consciousness due to its vitality. This beast egg was just picked up by the heroine who passed through this place. Oh, the heroine's finger was just scratched, blood dripped on the egg, and it contracted with it just weak due to the impact of the formation. After the host was forced to join the heroine, she went through all kinds of hardships to save the heroine, and finally died for the heroine. As a divine beast, it feels innocent to die. It later had the memory of its ancestors, knowing that its own dragons came to it as the only bloodline left. It wanted to lay eggs and cubs to grow the dragons. As a result, it had been passive wiping the heroine until the end. It is even more deadly. And the heroine was the one who broke its large array. It treated the enemy as a benefactor. In the end, it died out, but the heroine entered the holy place of the dragon tribe and inherited the blood of the dragon tribe. Xiao Beilong was very angry at this end. So there is this task of Yanj. The wish of the host is actually very simple, to avoid the troubled female heroine, and then lay eggs and babies to add prosperity to the dragon family. Yanj blended the memory of the host. I thought this trip was quite easy, but when I heard the words of the chickens, I immediately became tangled. If this is a human being, she is a beast this time. How can she help the mighty person to investigate the situation? Yanj held the only hint of hope and asked the chicken, did the powerful one be born into the livestock track this time? If the guy was born into the livestock road, she really didn't mind building a nest and then laying eggs with the mighty. After my death, the villain blackened again. Author, Ben Gongwei Pang. Chapter 111. It's a male cult. The cub paused and said, it's been a bumpy ride along Xiaoxian's journey. It's the number one cannon fodder, but it's fatal. Life is not good and you can't die. This is the most tortured life. Yanj found that the fate of the powerful person in the plane has been changing. From the beginning of the Emperor of the True Dragon Son to the number one cannon fodder today, his fate is getting miserable. Tiandao probably also thinks that the power of the Black can be too unstable, so he specially helped him obtain such an identity and hone his willpower a little bit. The Mighty One is the darling of heaven, and Yan Ji is not worried about this guy at all. She is most concerned about herself now. Realizing that he was still in the eggshell at the moment, Yanj was busy observing the situation around him. The Reiki array has not been destroyed, so the heroine has not arrived yet. The host is not suitable for forcibly breaking through the shell. Fortunately, the host did not know how to practice, but only passively absorbed the heaven and earth aura, but now she has the memory of the host's later period, and she has the memory of the dragon practice of the host. So Yan Ji closed his eyes and started practicing. The time in practice is almost a blink of an eye. When the surrounding aura array begins to be turbulent, Yanj immediately gathers the surrounding aura to protect this egg. Even if she was mentally prepared for the breakup of the magic circle this time, the egg she was in was still struck by shocks, and the gathering of spirits was destroyed. For the egg of the host, it was equal to vitality. Hurt. The big egg turned into a goose egg-sized existence. This is still the time when Yanj worked hard to cultivate in order to maintain the current state. We must know that the host was directly injured and lost consciousness. It is also because the host loses consciousness that he will be contracted by the hostess. How's it? Asked the cub, are you alive? The inside of the egg is always in a state of chaos. It can't see the surroundings and can't sense the outside world. Hearing the words of the cub, Yan Ji, while listening to the surrounding situation, said, I can't die for the time being, can you sense the situation outside? The chicken's head shook like a rattle, I can't sense anything. I'm a little scared. With no words, she tried to condense the aura that had been ramming around in her body, and planned to use the remaining aura to break through the eggshell. Well? Why is there an egg here? It should be a bird's egg so small, it's pitiful. An egg is lonely here, and sooner or later it will be eaten by another spirit beast. This is a light voice belonging to a girl. You don't have to think about it to know that this is the heroine. The consciousness of Yanj cannot be put out, and only the aura of control can be used to control the egg where it is located to roll forward quickly, so as not to be touched by the female mainstream blood. The natural blood of the beast of the host is different from other spirit beasts. In the eyes of the host, human beings exist a few grades below it, and have been contracted into human beasts. It is a great insult to the host. Yanj certainly can't keep himself on the same path as the host. but her scrolling has attracted more interest from the hostess. It's still a conscious egg, it's fun. The heroine giggled and bent down to catch the song in the grass. Yanj, this egg is rolling and rolling, the more you feel the harder and slower. Mom, this isn't climbing.